to go about, which is right, which is not right. Then I said, I'll tell you. Lord Krishna said, I am going to tell you. Kim karma kima karmeti kavayopyatra mohita. Even the wise, intelligent are perplexed. Therefore, I shall tell you what action is, by knowing which you shall be free from the evil, the bad. कर्मण्योऽपि बोद्धव्यं बोद्धव्यं च विकर्मणः अकर्मणश्च बोद्धव्यं गहना कर्मणो गतिः. It is needful to discriminate action, to discriminate forbidden action or inaction, and to discriminate inaction unfathomable are the ways of karma. Where you should act, where you should not act, and what actions are no good, which should never be done. This is what you need to understand. It is where you have to be indifferent, where you have to act, and where you have to be silent, and which one should be forbidden. Unfathomable are the ways of action, because there is no action that is so perfect. In every action there is some imperfection, and in every imperfect act also there is something good coming out of it. When it is such a mix and such a mess, confusion is natural. What is to be done, what is not to be done? Because everything seems to be doing something good and everything seems to create some complication, some problem. Karmanya karmayah paschet akarmani cha karmayah sa buddhiman manusyeshu sa yukta krishna karma krit. Here Arjuna was already confused whether to fight the war. Because he doesn't want to fight the war, because all his friends, his relatives, his brothers, his teachers, everybody was on the other side. And here he felt it's wrong to fight them. And again, for the sake of the country, for the nation, to keep the righteousness, and for protecting the people, his duty is to fight. So in this big confusion, He didn't know what to do. And then Krishna is saying, I know your confusion. You know this is a good action, but there is a wrong thing happening in that. And there is a wrong thing and there is something good coming out of it. In all this confusion, what is that you have to do? Then he says, he who sees inaction in action and action in action, he is the wise among men. He is a yogi and accomplisher of everything. Do you need any more to be confused if you are not yet? Krishna was not a convincer, but he was a confuser. He can confuse anybody with any conviction or He confuses him further, saying what? One who sees action in inaction and inaction in action, he is the wisest of all. But the subtlety of this verse is a mind-boggling truth. Let me take the example of a doctor. Suppose you are a doctor. You treat a patient and the patient dies. Then you are responsible. I mean, you feel responsible, or say suppose even if it doesn't die, you treat a patient. For treating the patient, are you responsible? Yes? Okay. If you don't treat a patient, then the patient suffers. Are you responsible? So whether you treat or you don't treat, you are still responsible. So in an action, you do an action, you are responsible. If you don't do it, then also you are responsible. You plant a tree on this planet, you are responsible for it. If you don't plant a tree, then also you are responsible for using the planet and creating more pollution, not aiding to the environment. So whether you do something or not do something, you are responsible. So in an action, there is an inaction. You are a doctor, you do the job, you have treated the patient. Still, for the patient to get well or not well is not in your hands. Do you see what I am saying? You do your job, but still your action, in that inaction, there is an inaction. When you sit for meditation, you do nothing, but then by your doing nothing, there is so many things happening. In the inaction that you apparently feel, what is happening around you, the ions are changing. Atmosphere is changing. Negative feelings and vibrations are disappearing. So there is an action. In your inaction, is there an action? There is certainly an action. What is happening? Stress is getting released. Body is getting relaxed. Mind is expanding, becoming more brilliant. So by you are not doing anything, brilliance is happening. Similarly, in action, you are sleeping. While you are sleeping, your body is building up. Maximum growth happens when you are sleeping on the physical plane. And the mind gets total rest, the brain gets rest, then the brain becomes more creative and productive. So while you are acting, you see that there is a part of you that is not acting at all. You see inaction in action. And action in inaction. That one is the real clever one. If you happen to talk to a criminal in the prison, and they will claim, they will say, I didn't do it. Usually when I visit the prison programs and I address large gathering of prisoners, and I ask them, how many were falsely convicted here? Almost everybody raised their hand. How many of you have not done any crime? Almost, everybody raises their hand. So they have falsely been implicated. And then I turn and ask the jailer, they'll say, they will always say like that. They just say it's a lie. But it is true what they are saying. A culprit says that I have not committed because it was not he who was there when the crime happened through him. It was at the spur of the moment he had lost himself and he committed a crime. Someone went and strangled his own wife out of anger, and then he realized, what he did, and it's not. Then he says, I didn't do it, it just happened. I don't know how it happened. People who have committed heinous crime, inside them there is a victim. Because they feel that they are victims. They didn't do it, it just happened. They don't know how it happened. In the same way, all the achievers in the world, if you talk to them, they will feel that, it just happened. A poet who wrote a nice poem will say, how did you write this poem? It is not through effort, mind you. At a spur of the moment, the poem just flew. It started flowing through them. And started penning them down. Say, after writing the most exquisite piece, they are startled. They wonder how it has happened. Same with fashion designers. They design wonderful clothes and then they are marveling. They marvel at their own creation. A painter, a musician. A creative musician always wonders about how come this happened? How did it happen? So they say, I didn't do it, it has happened. Have you heard celebrities speak about, all people who have achieved things, talk about it? There'll be no I achieved, I did it. No. Say there is an awe, there is a wonder inside of them. That is perceiving inaction. Inaction, doing action. In fact, only one who is engaged in action can ever say, I didn't do it, it all happened. To say everything is happening, one must be busy. A lazy person cannot say everything is happening. A lazy person cannot claim to know that everything is happening, or there is an inaction. That's why the real intelligent, clever one is who sees action in inaction and inaction in action. This one verse is classic in the world. It gives you more secrets about happening or not happening in the universe than you can ever think about. In any way you can think about it. It gives you the secret of action. Unfortunately, many people don't understand this. This is considered to be the most confusing and ununderstood of the verses. But a meditator can understand this. Because when you are meditating, You are not doing anything apparently, but so many things are happening. By your calming the mind down, you are creating an ocean of peace all around you. You are creating such positive vibes around you. You are creating such subtlety and sensibility around you. And similarly, when you are doing 100% action and you find there is a certain calmness, certain peace, certain quietness that's dawning inside of you, that's reigning inside of you. Yasya sarve samarambha kama sankalpa varjita jnanagni dagda karmani tamahu panditam buddha. When the fire of knowledge burns down the cravings or desires in a person and his actions are spontaneous, without promulgated, motivated by selfish desires, to that wise person whose karmas are engulfed by the fire of wisdom, the sages call wise. Situation may be the same, but the wise looks at it differently and the unwise looks at it very differently. Sitting and desiring all the time for this or that and trying to achieve it, and even after having achieved it, not being happy, not being contented, is the path of the unwise. But the wise is not burning out of fear or desire. The wise is moving with a smile because he is going ahead with awareness, with alertness, with knowledge, with wisdom. And the wisdom has engulfed the fire of desire. Wisdom has put down the fire of desire and engulfed him to move. So all his actions are free from feverishness. And that is not difficult to achieve, that's what he says. It's not difficult to achieve. And how that is to be done is in the next. We'll take it up later. Now we'll meditate.
Yes. So I think most of the things we discussed yesterday only.
Yes.
About this. Yeah. Any additional thing that you want to add? You can add here.
Like when you meditate, Gurudev said something about this. So everything is happening. When you meditate, you will able to understand it in a better way.
Yes. What better way?
Like it's easy to listen, it's easy to think that everything is happening. But to deal with that happening, when you meditate, At that time, you will have a wisdom that will move you through whatever is happening around you.
Yes, correct. Basically, he said, try to see action in inaction and inaction in action. मतलब जब आप एक्शन कर रहे हैं तो उसमें इस एस्पेक्ट पे फोकस करिए जो रिलैक्स कर रहा है, और जब आप रिलैक्स कर रहे हैं तब आप इस एस्पेक्ट पे फोकस कीजिए जो काम कर रहा है. जैसे आप सो रहे हैं तो कहने के लिए, देखने के लिए आप कुछ नहीं कर रहे हैं, you are in action. But when you are sleeping, that time there is maximum activity going within you. So focus on that. और जब आप काम कर रहे हैं, then something within you is not doing anything. It is unattached with what you're doing. Focus on that stillness. When you do that, that's when you achieve that equanimity, equilibrium. Yeah, and that's when you start seeing what others cannot see. And when you start doing meditation, he said that there is so much impact around you, so much of impact within the body, around the body, on the world, on the planet. Just by you meditating for a few minutes, just by you being calm, just by you being in the present moment, you can affect the whole planet, entire planet. So that is, meditation looks like inaction, kuch nahi kar rahe, sitting, no non-activity, but it is impacting the highest. So focusing on that action that happens through meditation, the impact basically. That was what was it, Gurudev revolved around the same concept.
Yes.
Yeah. Any other sharing? Anybody wants to share?
Yeah, Shruti, I would like to share something. One point almost you have covered, which is like you are responsible by doing things and by not doing things. That you need to understand. That breeze you need to, you should have a proper breeze. I mean, when you are doing something good by doing something, and by not doing something, when you are doing something for the society, that is something you need to take that responsibilities, and you need to understand what is your responsibility. Probably it would be social responsibility, probably your political, anything. It can be anywhere you find you are contributing something and you are responsible for that, then you are doing something better for the society, better for the human being.
Totally, yes. Whether you choose to do something or not to do, you still impact. Your action will also impact, your inaction will also impact.
Yeah.
जैसे कि कहीं पे घर में या कहीं पे आप बाहर ट्रैवल कर रहे हैं, कहीं पे झगड़ा हो रहा है ना, तो आप उसमें एक्ट करोगे, उसका एक अलग इम्पैक्ट पड़ेगा, और आप उसमें कुछ नहीं करोगे तो उसका भी एक इम्पैक्ट है ना. पॉसिबल है कि आप जाके और झगड़ा करना शुरू कर दो, तो आपकी इनएक्शन का कितना बड़ा फायदा हो रहा है. या आप एक्शन करो जहां पे आप झगड़ा बंद कराओ, तो वो आपके एक्शन का कितना फायदा हो रहा है. So it all depends, but whether you choose to do something or not, both will have its impact.
And the other point, your actions should be free from feverishness. That also you really, it has a very broad impact. So that you need to practice through meditation, yoga, so that you will have that wisdom. So this is a very broad knowledge. Probably with the time, with the practice, your action will be free from all kind of feverishness.
यस, वेरी ब्यूटीफुल। हम जब भी कुछ एक्शन करते हैं या नहीं करते हैं, दैट इज मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स ड्रिवन बाय फेवरिशनेस, राइट? जैसे कि हमने खाना खा लिया है, लेकिन उसके बाद हमारे पड़ोसी ने कुछ टेस्टी डिश बनाया है, तो वो लेके आते हैं, तो हमारा पेट भर गया है, लेकिन फिर भी हमको लगता है कि अरे इतना अच्छा डिश बना, इतना दे रहे हैं प्यार से, खा लेते हैं। तो वो फेवरिशनेस से एक्शन हो रहा है ना, करेक्ट? सो ऑफ कोर्स यस, every action that we do or inaction that we do, we need to see that it is not led by feverishness, craving. Yeah? Of course, and that happens only and only through meditation, that we can drop small mind cravings and start listening to big mind. Small mind will always trap you into cravings and aversions, likes and dislikes, and big mind will always help you decide what is really right for you. तो जब हम ध्यान करते हैं तो छोटे मन का जो क्रेविंग है वो ऑटोमेटिकली ड्रॉप हो जाता है, और बिग माइंड का ही वॉइस लाउड एंड क्लियर सुनाई देता है। और जब हम ध्यान करते हैं तब हमारा डिसीजन पावर बड़ा स्ट्रांग हो जाता है। डिसीजन पावर मतलब विवेक, डिस्क्रिमिनेशन पावर, वो स्ट्रांग हो जाता है। तो फिर मन परेशान नहीं करता, सामने से लगता है अरे छोड़ देते हैं, अभी नहीं खाना है, अभी नहीं करना है ना? यस। बार बार ज्ञान सुनने से, अच्छी कंपनी में रहने से, देखो आपके साथ कोई ऐसा बंदा है जो बहुत ही डिसिप्लिन्ड है, तो आप देखो आप भी फिर डिसिप्लिन होते जाओगे, क्योंकि आपका कंपनी ऐसा है ना? कोई अगर बोलेगा चलो आज बाहर खाते हैं, तो आपको भी मन करेगा ठीक है चलो खा ही लेते हैं। लेकिन कोई ऐसा व्यक्ति है जिनके साथ आप रहते हैं और बोले नहीं, दिस इज नॉट गुड फॉर हेल्थ एंड लेट्स डिसाइड नॉट टू ईट, तो आपके में वो स्ट्रेंथ भी आएगी, और फिर आपको खुद को कन्विंस करने में ज्यादा मेहनत नहीं लगेगी।
यस,
राइट? सो कंपनी मैटर्स, नॉलेज मैटर्स, कि नहीं हम इतना सुन रहे हैं, इतना ज्ञान सुन रहे हैं, तो हमको हमारे डिजायर्स को छोड़ना चाहिए। इट्स अ गुड थिंग, लेट्स ड्रॉप इट, है ना? तो वो ज्ञान बार बार रिपीटेशन से सुनना और ध्यान प्राणायाम करना, ये 3 चीज है। ध्यान, ज्ञान और सत्संग, सत्य का संग, कंपनी, 3 चीज हेल्प करती है क्रेविंग्स और बॉदरेशंस में से, अवर्जन्स और क्रेविंग्स में से फ्री होने के लिए। ओके।
एक चीज और गुरुदेव ने शेयर की थी, लाइक एग्जांपल दिया था ट्री का। लाइक अगर हम ट्री उगाते हैं फिर तो भी हमारी रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बनती है, और अगर हम नहीं उगाते, नहीं लगाते, तो भी हमारी रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, तो भी हम रेस्पॉन्सिबल हैं।
गुरुदेव ने ये बताया था, वही है, ये एक्शन और इनएक्शन की बात है। मतलब आप कुछ नहीं कर रहे हैं तो वो भी इम्पैक्ट पड़ रहा है ना, कि पोल्यूशन बढ़ रहा है, ग्लोबल वार्मिंग बढ़ रहा है,
Yes.
तो वो आपका इम्पैक्ट, इन एक्शन का इम्पैक्ट है। और अगर आप लगाते हैं पेड़, तो उसका एक्शन का इम्पैक्ट है। समवेयर यू आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर इट, राइट?
Yes.
So your action and inaction both will impact.
Yes.
हमको अवेयरनेस बहुत है सभी चीजों की, लेकिन क्या हम उस पे एक्शन लेते हैं? क्या हमको पता है कि हमें एटलीस्ट साल में एक बार तो पौधा लगाना चाहिए, पेड़ लगाना चाहिए, लेकिन हम लगा रहे हैं या नहीं? हमको ये पता है कि घर का जो एनर्जी है उसमें ऑक्सीजन की मात्रा बढ़ाने के लिए कुछ ऐसे सिंपल प्लांट्स भी हैं जो हम लगा सकते हैं, और उसको ज्यादा मेंटेनेंस की जरूरत नहीं है, पर क्या हम लगा रहे हैं या नहीं, दैट्स अ क्वेश्चन, राइट? सो इट इज ऑल अबाउट आवर एक्शन एंड इनएक्शन, आवर चॉइसेस, and both will have its impact.
Yes. और आपने एक वो बात बहुत अच्छी शेयर की कि लाइक जैसे हम ज्ञान सुनते हैं तो हमारे मन में जो हमारा छोटा मन होता है वो डीप डिजायर में सैड हो जाता है। तब जब हम को रिलेट करते हैं कि अगर हम ज्ञान सुन रहे हैं तो ऑटोमेटिकली हमको स्ट्रेंथ मिलती है कि हमको विजडम आता है कि भाई नॉलेज सुन रहे हैं तो पॉजिटिव चीजों पे ज्यादा ध्यान जाता है, बड़ा मन जो है उस पर कॉन्सेंट्रेट हो जाता है हमारा मन।
Right. Yes. Correct. ठीक है, let's conclude today's session.
ओके
Tomorrow. Namaste. Jai Gurudev.